to be ZTAY, aka Lil Red. It finally happened, but it's not to the Spurs, it's to the Houston Rockets. Kevin Durant traded for Jalen Green? Let's get into it. Kevin Durant traded to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and the number 10 pick. 5 second-round picks. Useless. I mean, 5 is a lot of them, though. Maybe you could hit on 1. But they didn't give up any future first-round picks. They didn't give up the one person I think they should have asked for if I'm the Phoenix Suns. We'll get into that for a second. And you get Jalen Green and then Dillon Brooks. It's like, that was a name that shocked me because Dillon Brooks was not on any trade rumors that people were making. But yeah, let's talk about it, man. Because now that means Dillon Brooks shooting guard is crazy. But I get the point. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Jalen Green are all on the same team now. How in the world is that going to work? They have 3 shooting guards. Now, Devin Booker's a point guard. Jalen Green is a shooting guard, and Bradley Beal can play the 3. That's really how it's going to work. But none of that matters because now the Suns are trying to... now. They've been trying to trade Bradley Beal. I heard something that 29 teams were not interested in Bradley Beal. I don't know who's going to trade him, but they're saying to buy him out. And bro, I don't think people realize how much money it would cost to buy him out. So Jalen Green and Devin Booker could possibly be the backcourt in Phoenix. Now, I saw a rumor, I don't know where it was, that they're looking to move Jalen Green. So they're either going to trade Jalen Green or Bradley Beal or buy Bradley Beal out. They're going to have to do that because they have too many shooting guards. And the one person I think they should have traded for was Jabari Smith because that's the perfect replacement for KD. But instead, they trade Jalen Green. Like, the Rockets really just gave up on Jalen Green, and it's kind of sad. And I understand why because of that playoff run. But do you guys think it was too early to give up on Jalen Green because we seen that's who they were shopping the last couple of days or weeks, and they didn't want to trade Jabari. They didn't want to trade Tari and Reed and Cam. They want to keep those guys. They wanted to trade Jalen Green, which was arguably their best player when he was playing good. That was the problem with Jalen Green. Way too inconsistent, right? This guy's saying KD and he's a rental. I don't think KD's a rental because there's no way, right, that Kevin Durant goes to another team. Now, they're saying the Heat made multiple offers for KD, but they didn't want to put Jaime, Jovic, or Highsmith in 20th pick. They didn't want to include anything, basically. But I did hear reports that Khalil Ware was in that trade. If I'm the Suns, I'd rather have Khalil Ware than Jalen Green just for fit alone because you need a big. But, I mean, there is a pattern. Shea, Tyrese, and now Jalen Green all being traded. And they're saying respectfully, Jalen Green's not Shea. Well, respectfully, Shea wasn't that good when he got traded from the Clippers. Tyrese was pretty good when he got traded. Like, this, in my opinion, is similar. We could see a rise like this. And low-key, I believe in Jalen Green. Like, I am a Jalen Green believer, and I think the Rockets gave up on him way too early. But now this is the potential starting lineup in Houston. My whole thing is I think they still need a shooting guard because I don't like Amen at the 2. I think Amen is either a 1 or a 4. There's no in-between for Amen Thompson. A 1 and a 3. He's either a point guard or a forward. He's not a shooting guard. And Jabari and KD, they are very similar in my opinion. They play a lot like each other. And that's who I think the Suns should have tried to go after because it's the perfect replacement for KD. Now they lose Dillon Brooks, which is defense. And they lose a lot of defense in this trade because Kevin Durant is not the best defender at this point of his career. Jabari, not the best defender. Freddie, not the best defender. And Şengün, definitely not the best defender. They have one defender in their starting lineup when last year they had multiple. But that being said, it's really just Dillon Brooks you're losing. And I would trade Dillon Brooks for Kevin Durant any day of the week. My thing is they're going to have to get a shooting guard, which good news for the Rockets. There are some shooting guards in free agency this year. Kind of like a Gary Trent. They just need a shooter at that position because, in my opinion, they don't have enough shooters now. Everybody in this lineup can shoot, but I don't like Amen and Şengün with these guys in there. Now, that's just me, like, really looking at it. I don't like this. I don't think this is the final form of the Houston Rockets. In my opinion, I would love it to be Amen at the 1 or Amen at the 4. But then it's like, where do you put Bari? Because Bari and Kevin Durant are very similar And in my opinion, I don't even know if they're going to start those two guys together because we seen Jabari was coming off the bench. But then it's like, all right, who's going to start over that? And that's why I say you got to get a shooting guard and put a man at the 4 and put a shooting guard here and then have Bari come off the bench. Something, right? Because I think Jabari and KD are way too similar. Now, Houston gets KD, keeps Phoenix long-term future. What? Oh, the draft picks. Yeah, I forgot. Houston has Phoenix's draft picks. Okay, so they keep their draft picks. They didn't get any draft picks back besides some second-round picks. They got rid of Jalen Green's contract. Still has the ability to make other moves. Keeps Amen, Şengün, and Jabari. Jabari's big. You want to keep Jabari. Clears room for Reed and maybe Cam. Cam can play that too. And I always forget that. This could be Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson here. I'm telling you, I love Jabari Smith. That's why I was like, in my mind, it would work better if Jabari went to the Suns because Jabari and KD the same damn player, bro. In the same lineup, I don't know how I feel about that. Now, you could argue Jabari's a better rebounder than KD, and KD is a better shot creator than Jabari, but I'm telling you, they play a lot alike. This could be Cam Whitmore. Can Cam Whitmore finally be slid into the starting lineup? A man at the 4, and eventually I hope Reed takes Fred's place because in my opinion, Fred proved me wrong in the playoffs. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not a Rockets fan. I'm just a James Harden fan. Okay. Just get that out the way. So everybody asking, why is your intro a Rockets jersey? Are you a Rockets and Lakers fan and this fan and this fan? No, I'm a Lakers and a James Harden fan. And I was kind of mad at Houston for a while when they did it. But right here, let's see what's going on because I guess KD was saying that the Suns wanted him gone.
Right now. What would you like to say? That's not true. No, literally, heartbroken Suns fan. Right over there. What?
I just felt like, yeah, I mean, they wanted me to go. So it's like, I'm glad we both, they got what they wanted and I got what I wanted. So.
Okay. Well, so KD saying Suns fans wanted him gone. He's on Twitter too much, KD. That's why you're on Twitter too much. But he sees, hey, man, I'm not happy here. First off, we could see KD was not happy in Phoenix, right? First off, probably because they suck. And also the head coach and the lineup, it just didn't work out how he thought it would because KD's a ring chaser. Let's be honest at this point of his career. Let's be honest. He's always going to the East. He said, no, I don't want to go to the Timberwolves. This man chooses where he wants to go because he thinks he has the best opportunity to get there. Now, I'm not going to hate on that because he's able to do it and he's got the ability to do it. I think it's cool that he's on social media. But Suns fans were very critical of Kevin Durant this year, I guess. Yeah. I think this is going to get rid of a lot of the bandwagon Suns fans, too, that jumped on it because they got KD. All right, so I'm guessing that he actually, they're saying he found out live with fans that he got traded. What? Oh, she said you're headed to Houston. Let's see his initial reaction. He looks happy. Yeah, he's smiling. KD wanted to be in Houston, San Antonio, or basically every good rebuilding young team in the league because he wants another ring. They get a good coach. He finally gets a good coach. I'm not gonna lie, if KD complains about this coach, it's definitely on him because Ime literally is a great coach. Brain isn't comprehending how we kept all of our best prospect and future draft picks for KD. Yeah. They only got rid of the 10th pick. And let's be honest, Jalen. Because Dylan, that is one of their best. Dylan, though, you want to trade Dylan, bro. So I think he holds you back. But yeah, low key, Houston, this is a great deal for them. The Suns, bro, they got some work to do, man. The Suns got a lot of work to do because they got to get one of these shooting guards off this roster and try to get a forward. Because who is their starting lineup now? I was thinking about this. Is it really Kevin Durant Devin Booker at the 1? Because I guess he's a point guard now. I've seen him in rankings. They're not ranking him as a shooting guard no more. So Devin Booker at the 1. He's going back to point guard, I guess. I guess I was wrong. They didn't need a point guard. I guess I was so wrong about the Suns last year, by the way. At the 2, Jalen Green at the 3, Bradley Beal at the 4, Devin Booker. My goodness, it's too much name. Dylan Brooks at the 4, and then Nick Richards at the 5. That's not, you need a defender in there. I mean, they just got to get off this Beal contract, and they're not going to. No team is going to trade for Bradley Beal, by the way. He just hasn't shown anything the last couple of years. The Suns made a big gamble trading for him, knowing they already had Devin Booker and KD. I don't know why the Suns want to trade for these shooting guards when you literally have Devin Booker. Now, like, when I say shooting guard, like, obviously these guys could switch. Like, I could see Jalen playing some one sometimes, even though he's not the highest IQ player. And even Bradley Beal could, you know, kind of run the offense at times. That's why he was good as the sixth man at times of last year. But that's what I'm saying. There's too many playmaking shot creators on this roster right now. There's too many players that need the ball. And that's why it didn't work in the first place with Kevin Durant. There's too many players that need the ball, and it kind of just turns into this extremely flowy offense where it's kind of like a drive and kick opportunity thing because teams are going to help a lot on them. But the problem with the Suns was their defense. And Bradley Beal and Jalen Green and Devin Booker in the same starting lineup, and defense doesn't go in the same sentence, bro. Like, that's not going to work. You got to get rid of one of them for maybe another big, even though I think Nick Richards, he's more of a backup big. They kind of need like a starting young big. That's why I would have loved that Khalil Ware trade. The Jalen Green trade just doesn't make sense. I don't know if they got desperate or afraid. They wanted that 10th pick badly. And we got to remember that the Suns now have the 10th pick in the draft. The Rockets lose the 10th pick, but they get Kevin Durant. They got rid of their second overall selection a couple years ago. It's crazy for both teams. There could be negative for both teams. I don't think anybody fleeced in this trade. Although I think Phoenix could have got so much more in return for Kevin Durant. And I'm not saying draft picks. They weren't getting more draft picks. They were either going to get that 10th pick or the 14th pick from the Spurs or whatever. That's why I think they ultimately didn't go with Miami, because they didn't even want to put their 20th pick, which is ridiculous, by the way, Miami. But I would like them to trade for another forward because you want to replace KD. You don't want the team to go through this drastic change. But they, in my opinion, are ultimately set on Bradley Beal being out of this lineup and off this team. And that's why I think they're probably going to end up staying with Jalen Green. Jalen Green and Devin Booker backcourt kind of sounds nasty, in my opinion. I kind of like it, but you're going to have to make up with it on defense. My goodness, I cannot talk right now. But they did get Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is a great defender. I'm telling you, they need that 4 now. Because I like Dillon at the 3, or they need a 3 or 4, and that's why I would have loved Tari or Bari. Obviously, Houston did a great job protecting those guys, and they got rid of Jalen Green, which is, again, they're just shopping him. They basically said, Jalen Green, take it or leave it, and they said, no, we want Jabari. No, you're not getting Jabari. No, you're not getting Tari. You'll get the 10th pick, too, the 10th pick and Jalen Green, and then choose somebody else outside of all of our, youth. And then they said, I guess it's got to be Dillon Brooks. We'll take that contract off of you. And in my opinion, Dillon Brooks is a great pickup for the Phoenix Suns. They need a defense. They now have Dunn, Brooks, and Richards. That's not bad. That's not a bad start ultimately for the Phoenix Suns trying to build some more defense. But like I said, that Bradley Beal's got to turn into another defender or a rebounder. That's really what it's got to be. And I think this is a good decision by the Phoenix Suns moving on from KD because it wasn't working out. We've seen this team at their max potential. Like I said, going into last season, I had the Phoenix Suns finishing top 3 in the West because they had Tyus Jones and Devin Booker going back down to the 2. I was all excited, even though I'm still not the biggest Phoenix fan because of what happened in 2021 as a Lakers fan. But I was wrong, man. They sucked. I thought Coach Bud was going to get them right on offense, but their defense was trash. And their defense was trash with Frank Vogel. And he's a defensive coach. It was the lineup. The KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker is not a good fit. They learned that and they moved on. And they got Jalen Green back. That's really good return. Problem is they have too many shot creators. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with this Bradley Beal situation because they're not getting anything in return for this. He has no trade value. And I'm telling you, I've seen reports that 29 teams, every team in the league was not interested in Bradley Beal. Why would they? His contract is horrible. and he's not producing like he was in Washington, and he's not helping his value because he's not playing good in Phoenix. And now you got Jalen Green and Devin Booker there. That even makes it worse for him because KD was already bad enough because he needs the ball. But now you got two other people that play the same position, same type of play style as you. It's not going to work. And no team's going to take him. If they have to buy him out, they're not getting anything in return for the Bradley Beal thing. I'm telling you, Phoenix, I wish you guys got Jabari Smith. I wish you guys got maybe Jeremy Sohan. I wish you guys would have got Khalil Ware. You needed to get a 6'8" taller type of scorer, rebounder, young potential, and they get Jalen Green. I mean, yes, Jalen Green has a lot of potential, young. That's what they wanted. They get the 10th pick in the draft. That's what they wanted. They get a defender in Dillon Brooks. That's not bad. Again, it's just the fit. And they have no leverage with Bradley Beal now. But Kevin Durant is going to Houston. Do you guys think that they could win a championship? In my opinion, they want championship now. I think they really got frustrated. They lost to the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs. They believed they could have won. And they believe that the reason they didn't win was a lot because of Jalen Green. Because he was scoring 2 points. He wasn't being aggressive. And he wasn't making the right reads, and he's disappearing, and he's not scoring. Where's Jalen Green? He's supposed to be a star player. It was really Şengün. So let's just get rid of Jalen Green, and let's keep all of our other young prospects. They could have the 10th pick. We're fine. We've been drafting high in the draft the last how many years? They have officially completed the rebuild in Houston, and now they are championship contenders for real. Kevin Durant and Fred VanVleet, two vets in the starting lineup now. That's something they lacked last year because Dillon Brooks is not the vet they needed at times. I think Dillon Brooks would try to do too much and actually hurt them. Kevin Durant is a great fit in Houston. And I think this is Houston's best chance to win the championship. Their window is not going to be closed for the next decade because I believe they have a lot of potential on this roster. And I'm happy they kept Jabari because I think he's got some KD potential. And I think this is also going to be big for Jabari's development because Jabari's so young, like a Jalen Green. And he has a lot of untapped potential. He just needed somebody that is like him, it's not Dillon Brooks, to help him out in his development. And I think KD is perfect for that. Like I said, I don't think him and Jabari are going to be in the same lineup, but I could be wrong, man. I'd be interested with that. But again, I think this is going to be big for Jabari's development, but I think they're going to be contenders for real for the next 2 to 3 years. And after KD is gone, they're still okay. They're still okay because Amen Thompson is there to replace Jalen Green, I guess. They have Reed Shepard. They have Cam Whitmore. They have Jabari Smith. They have Tari Eason. They have a lot, and they still have all those draft picks from Phoenix. Phoenix got what they could, and Houston did a great job by protecting their biggest value on the team. But they still got rid of Jalen Green. I know some Rockets fans are really happy because they're like, I'm fine with Jalen Green being gone. Let's be honest. A lot of people were frustrated with Jalen Green in this year's playoffs. And they realized that Amen Thompson is ready for the bright lights. Şengün is ready for the bright lights. And Jalen wasn't. And they are ready to compete for a championship. And they were for real this year. They're the number 2 seed in the West. They just got knocked out in the playoffs in the first round, like I predicted, because I thought they were too young. They have a perfect coach for this. I think him and KD are going to get along. Houston Rockets are definitely contenders now, in my opinion, that they got Kevin Durant. But I want to know how you guys feel about this trade down below in the comments. Hey, man, if you like the video, you want to support the channel, hit the like button. It helps out a lot. And also, let me know how you guys feel about Kevin Durant to the Rockets and Jalen Green to the Suns. Love you guys, man. Game 7 tonight. Also, a lot of WNBA content, too, because I'm kind of getting into the WNBA, man. Shout out Paige. Shout out Caitlin. Shout out Angel. Shout out Aaliyah. All people kind of getting me into the sport. But I'm out of here. This is ZTAY. Peace.